What is going on, my fellow Raiders, Doomers, Crusaders, Scullies, and Destinies, Fivers, whatever we're calling you? This is an exciting video. We are on our way to Crusaders Con, the inaugural first Crusaders Con held at the Indiana Jones Airbnb in Antonito, Colorado. I've never been there before, so this is exciting on all kinds of levels. But before we head to Antonito, we got to make a pit stop at Denver International Airport to pick up Pete Cassiopo of the California Jones. He's one of their admins and one of my very best friends. So we got to pick him up, and then we will be on our way to Crusaders Con. Stay tuned.
On the left, you will see a remarkable creature known as Blucifer, a large blue demon horse that welcomes everyone to Colorado. Here we have a wild Pete arriving at Denver International Airport. I've been spotted.
Pete wanted a justified, inspired cowboy hat to wear when he wasn't in Indy gear, so we stopped by a local shop to get a custom hat made for him. We just picked up Pete's new hat. It was a 4.5-hour drive from Denver to Antonito. It was late when we arrived at the Indiana Jones bed and breakfast, so we had a quick bite to eat and went right to bed. The first day of Crusaders Con was the arrival day for most of the attendees. People started showing up in the morning and continued to arrive throughout the day. We all congregated at the ranch house, just down the road from the bed and breakfast. It was nice to have a low-key day of meeting and getting to know everyone before all of the fun excursions of the convention started. Like many of my indie trips and meetups in the past, it was a fun mix of old friends as well as familiar faces I have only known through social media, but I've never met in person. The evening concluded with those of us staying at the Indy house, hanging out, and raising a glass to the adventure ahead. Saturday was our day at the Great Sand Dunes National Park in Mosca, Colorado, not too far from the Indy house. Pete and I decided to get there a little early, as I saw rain clouds rolling in, and I wanted to get some cosplay shots in the dunes before the weather took a turn for the worse. You can hear the wind really starting to pick up in these clips of Pete and I cracking our bullwhips. A fun side note, the whips sounded very muted, almost like a hand clap, because of how vast the sand dunes are and how much the sound is absorbed by the sand itself. The wind wasn't doing us any favors either. We did manage to get some great photos before the rain came, and the rest of the Crusaders Con group showed up not long after us. While we got some awesome group photos together, none of us were saved from the rain and the cold. It was a short-lived adventure at the sand dunes, but still a fun and memorable one. The dunes are truly an epic background for a cosplay photo shoot, and really harken back to the indie films, especially the originals, using in-camera and practical locations for the backdrop of their stories. Being near Alamosa, one place I knew I had to visit on this trip was the Colorado Gator Farm. This is Jay. He's the owner of the Gator Farm and my lifelong friend. I've been coming to the farm since I was a little kid, and under Jay's tutelage and supervision, I've had the opportunity to handle and interact with these amazing animals. They're big believers in hands-on education to spread love and conservation for animals like this alligator snapping turtle, alligators, snakes, and more. Who knows, maybe with time and some good interactions, Indy could have learned to love snakes after all. Maybe he just needed to visit the Colorado Gator Farm.
Like some of them you can't really tell how wide their heads are.
It looks like we're throwing small rocks at the alligators, but don't be alarmed. We're feeding them gator chow, like dog food, but for alligators. It is a pelletized food specifically designed to help meet their dietary needs. You might be asking how the alligators survive Colorado's freezing winters. In short, American alligators are the most cold tolerant of all crocodilians, and the Gator farm uses geothermally heated well water that stays around 86 degrees year-round, even warmer than Florida's water in the winter.
Friends! No! We are friends! No! We are friends!
After the Gator farm, Pete and I met up with the rest of the Crusaders Con group at a local brewery to enjoy some food, drinks, and live music. It was a great way to end an epic day of adventure. Sunday was my absolute favorite day of Crusaders Con, and from talking to several other attendees, it seems like it was the favorite for a lot of us. Sunday was the Cumbres and Toltec Scenic Railroad Day. The morning started off at the ranch house for breakfast before going over to the railroad station in Antonito, where a bus then took us into the mountains and to a rail station in northern New Mexico.
I've been spotted.
In addition to being simply a fun and adventurous thing to do, like the bed and breakfast house, the railroad was also used in the opening of Last Crusade. Engine 484 that pulled us on Sunday was the actual engine used during filming, though I took my picture with a different one.
That's what my ticket says.
Oh, is that what's that being in here? You guys,
Thank you for using 484.
Brakeman will be buying a bit. Punch your ticket. You're free to move about, right? You guys saw the open air car?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Great place to hang out.
Like he said, the open air car was a great place to hang out, and once we got going, it's where we spent most of the duration of the train ride. As you can imagine, our group of indies certainly drew a lot of attention. While this was the train and location used for the opening sequence of Last Crusade, most of the people are there enjoying the beautiful sights, the history, and the novelty experience of the train ride, not a fan pilgrimage. But we were respectful of everyone else, and it seems like they all enjoyed the added element of all of the Joneses. We were asked to take many photos, and we were always happy to oblige. Throughout this video, you'll notice a trend of us gathering around and talking, whether it's at the ranch house, a restaurant, or even on the train. The element of coming together as fans and as friends is hands down, without a doubt, my favorite thing about indie meetups of any kind. Like we've said time and time again, it's friendship made easy. So many of us met for the first time in person on this trip, but we felt like we were old friends who've known each other for years. We were always friends. We just hadn't met yet. Whether it's with a pack of indies or just for fun, I highly recommend doing this train ride. The views are breathtaking, especially in the fall with the leaves changing and these incredible rock formations. Plus, being on a train is just plain fun and exciting, especially an old school locomotive like this. It's no wonder why the Cumbres and Toltec Railroad has been called a museum on wheels. Daylight go. Oh gosh. So bright. As a national historic landmark, the railway functions as a living museum, preserving authentic turn-of-the-century steam railroading practices and equipment. It is an amazing piece of history that absolutely brings you back to a time before fast cars and cell phones. You get to be present in the moment with the people in your company and take in the sights, smells, and feelings of being on a train and being surrounded by these amazing wildernesses. It's a pretty remarkable experience.
Go over it black.
Monday was a much more chill day, both literally and figuratively, especially after Sunday's train ride. We spent the morning eating breakfast at the ranch house before going over to the young Indy house for the first time as a group to get some photos of everyone together. Sadly, some of us had to head out on Monday. We said our goodbyes and our see you laters, but not before getting some epic group shots in front of this house that has become so iconic within the Indy fandom. And like the train, we were certainly a sight to behold, especially to passers-by who will often drive past the house to snap a quick photo when learning it was in an Indiana Jones movie and in the area. I spend so much time in Indy gear these days and doing meetups like this, sometimes I forget that seeing so many Indies congregated together, it can be an unusual sight for the average Joe. After our fun outside of the young Indy house, we made our way back to the ranch house, where we had the opportunity to mingle and hang out. Interwoven throughout the day were some very cool activities, like a presentation by Dr. William Taylor, a real-life professor of archaeology at Colorado University in Boulder. There was also a super fun Indy-themed mobile escape room, a Crusaders Con raffle, and time to practice cracking our bullwhips. The evening concluded watching none other than Last Crusade together. And of course, we all cheered when the house appeared in the movie. I had to do one more walkthrough of the young Indy house before heading out. It was a special thing, having the opportunity to stay here for the duration of Crusaders Con. Driving home each day to Indy's childhood home and seeing this iconic house from cinema history, imagining River Phoenix running to the front door and Richard Young placing the hat on his head in the entryway. It certainly added another layer of magic to the whole event. It's something I will always cherish and never forget. You could feel the bittersweet energy in the air on Tuesday. All of us on a high from the adventure we had just been a part of, but not quite ready to leave it behind and return back to regular life. After many hugs and a few more photos, Pete and I hit the road to return back to Denver, but not before a quick pit stop in Colorado Springs to say hi to a familiar face.
These hats are nice, but hey, man.
The adventure didn't quite end there. That night, a few of us met up in downtown Denver for one last hangout before parting ways. It was really fun, so much so that I didn't really get any footage or photos, so I apologize for the anticlimactic ending. So where do I begin to wrap up this video? It's hard to fully put into words what this trip meant and what it continues to mean to me. In full transparency, I try to make these videos to be entertaining, but really, I try to capture these memories to look back on in years to come, to revisit anytime I'm feeling down, and to remind me about the journeys I've been on, and as a reminder of what wonderful adventures the new day can bring. First, I would like to thank everyone who made this possible. Brian, both Alexes, Pete, and Sabra. A special thank you and shout out to Alex from here in Colorado for so many of these epic photos. The ones that are really nice, that don't look like iPhone photos, yeah, those are from Alex. I also want to thank each and every person who attended this adventure, especially those who crossed the country to be here, going out on a limb to see things and meet people they've never met before. That kind of courage is amazing and truly inspiring to me. As cliche as it might sound, the greatest treasure on any adventure is the friends you make along the way, and that was certainly true at Crusaders Con. I cannot wait to see these friends again down the road. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. Fortune and glory, everyone. Fortune and glory.